is the time. October 13th. It's the start of the work week in St. Louis. Glad you're with us today. Ready to rock and roll. You know what we do here. We're here till 8 o'clock today, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Ready to get things rolling as we do every day. All things St. Louis all the time. Anything else that might even be a national story that makes sense, we'll cover it. We'll talk about it. Certainly glad when you guys jump in the show and talk with us. Anything that you guys want to do, anything you guys want to talk about, bring it on into the show in regards to our stories about St. Louis. Happy you're with us. As always, how was the weekend? What's going on in your neck of the woods? What happened over the weekend? What are you looking forward to this week? What kind of events are out there? Anything and everything from that standpoint, we're here to talk about. That's what we do all the time right here. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 6:05 on a Monday morning. If you guys have anything else that, and then also, if you guys want to give shout-outs, it's the Monday morning shout-out or call-out. You can shout out somebody great or call them out not so great. I guess we'll do that as well. We're ready to get going. A lot of interesting things from the weekend. Producer Rye alongside. Happy Monday morning, Rye. I'm glad you're with us today as well. Not sure what we would do if you weren't here. All good in your hood? Everything good from the weekend?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. It was a nice, calm weekend.
Nice and calm, he says. Our man's calm. Very calm. By the way, weather is warming up again. And I know you like this. You like this stuff. This week, temperatures high 70s and 80s again. Here we go. All the way through the weekend. I said there might be some spot showers on a Monday, but man, it's just, we're halfway through the month of October already, and we're still highs in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's a little different. I don't know what it was last year. It just seems like it's a little too warm for this time of year, but it could be something else, that's for sure. So just kind of rise and shine, go with the flow, enjoy the sun and the warm weather, and take it in. It's very, very, very comfortable, that's for sure. Coming up on the show, we can recap a weekend with Mizzou and Alabama from Saturday. Most of you know what happened there. We've got NFL football from yesterday, and of course last night, big brawl at the end of a game that the Chiefs pretty much won handily. And, just a big brawl that wasn't needed at the end of the game. But I'll have a different take on this, too. Because you had a Detroit Lions player who had some inexcusable conduct, hit a guy after the game. But should somebody be getting in somebody's face and cussing them out? If somebody comes and cusses at you, yeah, you're supposed to walk away. These are gladiators on a field. You shouldn't do anything. But at the same point in time, do you rule out the person that's running their mouth in somebody's face when that person just minded their own business? We'll talk about that. I'm sure everybody's been in a situation like that in their life too. People will try to instigate you. You have to know the difference between right and wrong. And I know that's very difficult sometimes to just walk on by. So anyway, that was a big, nasty brawl for the NFL. I'm sure Brian Branch is going to be suspended, if not by the NFL, by his own Lions team. That's for sure. So we can talk NFL from that standpoint. Baseball playoffs are going on. Got that going on. St. Louis, another just really, really nice weekend. And from what I look at, it just seems like kind of a quiet weekend too. Unless we're missing things, you can jump in on that. The movie that I'd been promoting, Soul on Fire, it debuted on Friday, and it's getting a lot of good reviews, and I'm glad to hear that because it's all about St. Louis, as we talked about. John O'Leary's story. John O'Leary from St. Louis, being burned as a child, didn't even know if he'd make it. Now not only has he made it, he's an incredible inspirational speaker with a story that is just phenomenal. So that became a movie. Also highlighting Jack Buck and the tremendous attention that he gave this young man and helping him in his recovery. Just showed the heart of Jack Buck as well. All St. Louis all the time from that standpoint. We got those stories to get into as well. Yeah, Domino's has a new logo. We'll talk about that. Another craft brewery, another craft brewery going down. The days of craft breweries, I think, I don't want to say they're over, but man, they are struggling. We've talked about several of these craft breweries, these microbreweries, going out of business, not only in the St. Louis area, but across the country. I mean, they certainly had their heyday. I just don't know if people are that much into them anymore. Now, the people that I know that like their craft beers, I don't know if they're going to stop liking craft beer, but it just seems like it's struggling from that standpoint as well. How about this, my friend? You're a Gen Zer. Are you a tipper? I know tons of Gen Zers don't have lots of money. When we're younger, we don't. But a new study that came out says that Gen Z drinkers leave bartenders very frustrated. That bartenders see Gen Z coming in and go, oh, no, wasted time. Do you notice that? Do you see that at bars and restaurants?
I don't really, mostly because we just don't have that much money. So it's like, I still tip my bartender a little bit, even though if it's like a $10 drink, I'll try to tip him like $2 at least, or $1.
The allegedly bartenders and servers say that it's gotten really bad. Said that Gen Z skimps on tips and says that if they can't do the tipping, they shouldn't be going to the bar or restaurant. I don't know. That's an interesting.
I do agree with that. I don't go out like that, but
yeah, I know
I do. I can tip at least something.
Yeah, we can talk about that and talk about what you should be tipping. But as the service, it's something I've talked about, Glidem, for a long time. Just because you go out doesn't mean you have to give the tip. But if somebody's actually working and doing what they're supposed to be doing, if you're not giving them a certain percentage, is that a problem? I don't know. We can get into that too. We can talk about it. Right out of the gate, in this thing, we talked a lot last week. And I know it's been 2 days, but Mizzou football. They lost that game with Alabama, 27-24. Polls came out yesterday. The Tigers dropped 2 spots. It's not too bad. I mean, they went from 14 to 16, and I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Alabama moved up, and I was like, oh, so I guess that so Alabama moves up over some people I didn't think they should have, and I'm like, I guess that shows respect to Mizzou that they're moving them up in the poll after that performance. So, Ohio State's 1, Miami's 2. Indiana, who I watched beat Oregon and just physically manhandle them, like men children out there. Very impressed with Indiana. They're 3 and they should be. Texas A&M 4, Ole Miss 5. Just a very interesting weekend of college football. So I talk about that, but Alabama moved up to 6. And they're ahead of Texas Tech, and they shouldn't be because they lost to Florida State, who's got 3 losses. I don't care if it was the first game of the year or not. So Missouri falls from 14 to 16. The thing I can't understand is Missouri's only loss is at home to the 6th-ranked team in the country by 3 with horrible officiating, calls that definitely dictated the game, some perfect plays by Alabama, and not even playing that well and still only losing by 3. Oklahoma got blasted at a neutral site by an unranked Texas team. Yet Oklahoma is still ranked higher than Missouri, but they'll have a chance on the field to prove that. Missouri's got to take care of their offense. Their defense wasn't great, but they did enough. They did enough to win. They did, and had them in positions. But people are starting to see that Bo Prabula is not a downfield quarterback. His vision is not that great. Love the kid, but we had, when you're making $1.5 million a year and fans are paying the kind of money they are, yet you get critiqued. It's all part of it. He did not have a good day. I know he had 3 touchdowns. He hit some wide open receivers, but he also missed a lot. There were a lot of wide open guys that he missed during the day. Unfortunately, those are some of the things that happened. Vanderbilt was 17 in the polls. Missouri's got them in 2 weeks. So Mizzou did not get the win as we were all hoping for. It's all part of it. But now, this was part of their big stretch. Now they're at Auburn this week, where they're an underdog at Auburn. Missouri is a 3-point underdog at Auburn Saturday night. Auburn has 3 losses, but Auburn, I'm telling you right now, they're good. They don't have an offense that's that great, but they're good. And their 3 losses have been close. I mean, they gave Georgia everything they could handle on Saturday night. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tough game for Missouri when they come in next week. So Auburn started the year with 3 straight wins. Then look at this. They went to Oklahoma. They lost in a tight game, 1 score, 7 points, 24-17. The next week, they play at Texas A&M. So they're at Oklahoma, at Texas A&M. They lose to A&M 16-10. Very tight. This last week, they host Georgia. So they played 11-9. Number 10, Georgia, lost by 10. And it was closer than that. Georgia got a field goal late in the game. So they're down 3 straight losses, literally by an average about 1 score per game, to number 11 and number 9 on the road, then number 10 at home. And now they host number 16. It's like, this Auburn team is, and they don't get, that defense is legit. And if Missouri's offensive coordinator doesn't get his act together and use Hardy, I mean, Hardy had 12 carries. I wonder if it had anything to do with him moonlighting, looking at the Arkansas job. I called it out last week. I'm like, anytime a coach is talking to another team, things change on his current team. It happens inevitably. No, I'm all about my team. I'm just looking. And allegedly, he had already interviewed for the Arkansas job during the bye week. If your mind is here, your mind is not there. And for whatever reason, he ran Ahmad Hardy 12 times. Eli Drinkwitz asked after the game, why did he only get run? Why did you guys not run Ahmad Hardy? He's like, I don't know. He literally said, I don't know. The head coach said, I don't know. So I'm like, it's hard me. Yes, I don't trust a lot of things, guys. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't know what happened. I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying I don't know what happened, and it doesn't make sense. But Missouri's crowd deserves all the credit in the world. Talked to an Alabama guy who said that was phenomenal. The crowd showed up early, showed up often, 11 a.m. start, and Mizzou Nation showed up. It's fun. It's a great atmosphere. The home winning streak is over, which was 15 games. But the crowd gets an A. The fans get an A. They showed up in their gold. They showed up with their excitement from St. Louis, Kansas City, and all parts around the state, and they did their job. The Missouri offense did not do their job. And I'm not going to break down, get into all the X's and O's on this show. We'll do that at 10 o'clock today on the MIZ-STL show. You'll want to join us for that. But for this show, it's just fun. It's fun to see that we have a school that people in the state should be. It's your state. I don't care if you went to another college or not. This is your home state. If you're from Missouri, that's your state school. In Alabama, they're rooting for their schools at Alabama and Auburn. Why not? And I'm glad that people are getting behind the Mizzou football team and the excitement that's there. And there's still a lot to play for. A lot to play for. And when I heard the Alabama fan just talking about the atmosphere and the environment, we're talking about an Alabama fan. They've won national championships. And their game day experience is phenomenal. Well, now you've got that in Columbia. And let's hope the fans continue to come out, but it's going to be difficult. Missouri on the road for 2 straight weeks. We're going to find out a lot about Mizzou now, because you've got at Auburn this week, and then at Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt the week after, before you come back home to take on Texas A&M. So it's difficult. Here comes the stretch of games. We'll see what Missouri has in store. But that was something from the weekend that was a big deal, especially for anybody that's been associated with Missouri. And it's something that we can talk about on the show too, if you guys so desire. 6:20 is the time. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Ryan alongside. If you want to give us a call and talk about some of these stories, you can. 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We are your Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com all the time, and you can check out louinfo.com to find out all about our programming for the days. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us each day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. And then on Mondays, like today, you've got the MIZ STL show, where it's all about Mizzou, recapping the game, promoting the game that's ahead, and moving forward with all things black and gold. 6:21 is the time. We had been talking and by the way, while we were talking some college football, Penn State's coach, James Franklin, fired. I mean, this team began the year ranked, second? Or they were ranked in the top 3, 4? And now they're not even in. They've lost 3 straight games. James Franklin fired. His quarterback out for the year. Drew Aller gone with a injury. Penn State has a lot of issues coming up. So if your team isn't doing so great, just imagine if you were a Penn State fan, because that situation, I don't know if that could get any worse right now than what it is there. But they've got to figure out what they're going to do. So that's it from the college football standpoint. Shout out to any high schools that did well over the weekend. If you're a high school team moving forward, you guys can feel good about that. Also, some stories. Again, I saw this one come down last week, or I saw it come down Friday after our show, but I always thought it was cool. Local residents making national news. Brad Lamb, he's a baker and cake decorator at Celebrating Life Cake Boutique. It's a St. Louis area bakery. He was in a Halloween season of Netflix series called Is It Cake? That premiered last week on October 8th. So he was talking with the local Fox about being on the show and how much he loved it. You can go back and look that up, I'm sure, on YouTube. But they do cake decorating, where the whole idea is to figure out if a cake is real or fake. They're that talented, where they make a cake look so good you can't tell if it's fake or cake. Fake it or cake it. There you go. They say that the show explores the art of cake decorating, where skilled bakers create hyper-realistic replicas of just about everyday items to fool judges. It could be anything from handbags or sewing machines to tacos, red Solo cups, even toys. That's pretty cool. So Brad Lamb said that his appearance was a very, very good one. And he said that the judges, they can expect, and people who watch the show can expect to be really impressed. He's like, I was on the stage with most of the cakes. You could not tell what was real and what was cake. He's like, we were all just very talented artists. So congratulations to Brad on his appearance. And that's pretty cool. You get a chance to do that on Netflix. Once again, the show is called Is It Cake? Netflix's Is It Cake? I like it. Is it cake or is it fake? I'm sorry, I just can't get past that. It is 6:24 on a Monday morning. Sun's not up yet in St. Louis. We're getting you going with the stories that are making news. Let us know. Jump on in. Jump into the chat line. You can do that on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Once again, that's X, Facebook, and YouTube. at Arch City Now. Highlights from the weekend. Anything else happening that's coming up this week? Shout outs, events coming up. Let us know. We like to talk about all of those things that are going on. Also, if there's something that's got you moving this morning, anything that's that you think needs a call out or a shout out, we'll talk about that as well. That's what we do here, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. It is early. People getting back up on the weekday. It's the start of the work week for most. Early Monday mornings can be difficult. The weather's going to be pretty nice. That's for sure. Can't complain about the weather. And that's what we do. Just try to get you up and flowing and rolling all throughout the day, everything that's happening. Also, I was curious to know if anybody had a chance to go see Soul on Fire, the movie about John O'Leary from St. Louis, burned as a child, horrible, tragic accident, burns on 100% of his body, wasn't supposed to make it. Jack Buck was a part of his life and his comeback. I loved the movie, promoted it. The debut of the movie was this weekend. If you haven't seen it, if you do support it, it really supports St. Louis. It supports the family. Just check it out. If you get a chance, go check it out. Everybody that I talked to that has seen the movie likes the movie and thinks it was definitely worthwhile. And the family is they're just a terrific family. And anytime we can promote St. Louis, we're going to do that. And that movie is all about St. Louis. The whole backdrop is St. Louis, as we were just talking about from that standpoint. My friend Rye, producer Rye, I didn't want to get past it. Did you watch the Mizzou game on Saturday? I didn't get your opinions.
Oh, I did watch the game, yes.
And your thoughts from that standpoint.
I thought they were playing really, they were playing a little tentative. I like Bo Pribula running, but the thing is, when you're looking down the field and you see guys that are open, and you're passing them up, you can't do that against Alabama. You stuck with them. The defense played really well. I still because I play college football and Toriano is a good player, it's just he always goes against the ones and stuff. But it was 4th and 8, and then they got that pass off, and I was like, man, that could have been the stop that would have changed it. But they had too many chances. They were going up against the refs as well. So They surprised me, though, because I didn't want Mizzou to come in and just, get blown out. That would have been really bad for the poll. But losing by 3 at home to Alabama, they're a top 5 team where they should be if they're not. So
yeah, so Alabama's ranked 6 now. Yeah. Missouri's 16. Alabama's right there on the cusp. Definitely a good team. But, it was just, there was a 4th and 8 play late in the game. They made just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play. So congrats to them. By the way, we'll do that when we come back. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do it from the break. Beldall had their annual chili cook-off. We can promote that in a second when we come back. Always a huge, huge deal there. The Italian Fest. I think it's like 159 straight years of the Italian Fest in St. Louis was over the weekend. Anything else that you guys want to talk about, promote, where you guys were, let us know. You can give us a call. Phone number is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. Also, if you want to jump in on Facebook, X, or YouTube, you can do that. We appreciate it when you do that. Once again, that's Facebook, X, and YouTube at Arch City Now. Jump on in. We'll talk. We're getting started on a Monday morning. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. We'll be back with more right after this. It was fast. I was just texting about the brawl last night with the Lions and Chiefs. Big men acting like babies. Unfortunately, those things happen. This is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Glad you guys are with us. Thanks for being here. My man, my producer, Rye, alongside as well. We get you going Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Happy Monday, St. Louis. What's going on in the world today? What's got the needle moving for you? Keep us posted on everything that's up in your life. What happened over the weekend? The good, the bad, the ugly. What's ahead this week? If there's anything to promote, let's do it. That's what we do. We try to keep the energy up, try to keep it mostly positive as best as we possibly can when it comes to sports, entertainment, news, headlines. You guys talk about it. You let us know. We'll jump in from that standpoint. It was kind of crazy last night. What happened? You had the Lions and Chiefs. That's what I was talking about. Just what's going on? Was the St. Louis team playing? No. But the Chiefs have become, whether you like it or not. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not. Okay. It is what it is. I'm a Lions fan. There you go. And the Lions got their butts beat by the Chiefs last night. It's all good. It's all good. It's all part of it. You win some, you lose some. Lions are 4-2. Chiefs are 3-3. Chiefs were actually favored in that game last night by 2.5 or 3 points. Lions were missing 5 of their 6 top secondary members. You knew they were going to lose. You just did. But at the end of the game, let me set up for you what happened before we show you the video with what happened in this game last night. You had the Chiefs who win a game, so the game is over. And then Patrick Mahomes, and Ryan, just let me know when you want to pop up the video, buddy. Patrick Mahomes shakes out his hand, or he wants to have a shake hand with Brian Branch. Brian Branch, just let me tell you, he's one of the baddest dudes in the NFL, and he's a fighter. And the last thing he probably wants to do is shake somebody's hand after the game. I'm not sticking up for him because he's going to be suspended, and he should be. And that's going to hurt the Lions furthermore, because guess who the Lions play next week? Tampa. They had the toughest schedule in the NFL. So Brian Branch is leaving the field or walking by. Patrick Mahomes sticks his hands out, say, hey, I want to, and he just walks by. Well, Juju Smith-Schuster decides to cuss at, yell at, get on Branch. So Branch pops him in his head. And then the brawl starts. Should you ever put your hands on somebody else if it's not as part of a game where there are rules? No, you can't touch another person ever. Man on man, man on woman, woman on man, whatever. You don't put your hands on anybody else ever, unless it's inside of a game where there are rules and everybody knows what the rules are, like the game last night. So that's what happens. And then the brawl starts. As we show you the video from what happened, just a terrible scene all there. Now, the last thing we need to see are kids watching this. This was late in the night at the end of the game. Hopefully kids were not watching, and or if they were with parents, parents were judging and telling them what is right and what is wrong as parents should do. This just, it's a bad look all the way around, sickening all the way around. And there's just no need for it. Brian Branch has got to be better than that. You don't hit another man. You don't. Or something's going to happen. Now, that's a problem. Juju Smith-Schuster, just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. You're nobody special. You're not important. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, dude. Just shut your mouth. Nobody wants to hear from you, especially a team that just lost. Did he go up to Patrick Mahomes and try to shake his hand? No. Bro was leaving the field. Patrick Mahomes put his hand out. And then he walked by. I don't want any of that. So when you insert yourself into somebody else's business, that's on you. Now, Branch, no excuse. He should be suspended. But there's a reason why Juju Smith left the field bleeding. Because he opened his mouth. He inserted himself in another situation. He tried to instigate. Instigators are never really called out enough, in my opinion. There's a lot of people in life who will instigate. They'll push you. They'll poke you. They'll try to set you up. And that's what Schuster was doing. So Schuster left the field bloodied and bruised, as he should have been. Sorry. You go mouth somebody, you put yourself into that situation, good luck. You want to start crap with somebody, good luck. Just keep your mouth shut. Stay in your own lane. And then we have to see this ugly display of nastiness. Just ugly. Grown men fighting with, and by the way, let me tell you something. I've been in a couple of those brawls. You're not hurting anybody with helmets on, for the most part, unless you're just standing and you don't see it. Like Brian Branch popped Schuster pretty bad. And I'd be curious what his suspension is going to be. He may get a 3. I mean, Dan Campbell says, and I love how I love Dan Campbell. I love him. He's my favorite coach in the NFL. He's like, I love Brian Branch, but that's unacceptable, inexcusable, and it won't be allowed here. Lions are in trouble. They're gonna suspend him, and he's one of their only healthy guys in the secondary. So Branch is going to go ahead and be bye-bye. So big brawl in Kansas City. Are the Chiefs back 3-3? Certainly looked really good last night. Mahomes, who I love as a quarterback, love him as a person, had a really, really good night. Big night. Big night. But then this is, and you're going to hear about this all day. It's not just a sports story. It becomes a news story when you have a brawl that went on and NBC's carrying it and showing it. And, you know, it happens right there at the end of the game. It's just nasty. So if that did anything for you, you can let us know from that standpoint. Just ugly all the way around when these things happen. I don't know what the league will do, what the league should do. Who knows? I mean, you see it, Bri. You see some of the video that I showed you from that standpoint. I mean, how many people is it just going to be one person that's suspended? Would it be many of them? I don't know, man. I can't remember the last brawl like that in the NFL where it was after a game, where that became a really big problem. So I don't know. You just wish that it wouldn't happen. It did. And now we're left with the aftermath of it. It is interesting, too, because that happens. It was another just wild week in the NFL. Very difficult to predict what's going to happen. We were talking about some NFL there. I was looking at the new power rankings for the NFL as well. And I'm like, oh, look at that. The Bills back considered to be number one. Number one. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 3, Lions. 4, Packers in their division. 5, the Colts. Who would have ever thought? And Steelers 6. Who would have ever thought? By the way, the Steelers are 4-1 with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, and he looks really good again. I've always said it. Not that Mike Tomlin's some amazing coach. I've always promoted Mike Tomlin because I like him as a person. I probably like him more as a person than a coach. He's been around for a long time, but when you break down Mike Tomlin's record, he hasn't had all this greatness. He just hasn't. He's been steady. But I like Mike Tomlin. I'd like to hang out with Mike Tomlin. Seriously, I would. But Mike Tomlin's the perfect mix for Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron knows if he messes up there, Tom will grab him by his neck. You're gone, brother. So they're rock and roll. And then you've got the big game next week. So Lions had a big game last night. Now, the Lions next week play the Bucks. And the Lions won't have a secondary because Brian Branch is going to be out. And they're already missing 5 of their other top 6. They're going to be in an entire, imagine playing in the NFL with an entire second unit of defensive backs. You don't have any of your top 6. Now it's like 7 through 12. Baker Mayfield. But who knows? In the NFL, you never know. You never freaking know. But we'll see. Such is life in the NFL from that standpoint when they go. I know this. It's we're going to have to hear about it all day today and all night when it comes to what happened in Kansas City. Arrowhead. By the way, the Chiefs fans, you guys are amazing. Arrowhead is absolutely insane. And tonight you've got the Bears playing at the Commanders. The Bears 2-2. The Commanders are 3-2. So, I don't know if that game does something for you or not. I know there's Bears fans in the area. Not sure about Commanders fans, but I don't know. It is what it is. I just, I don't know. When you see that brawl, what do you think? I mean, what?
I think I look at these guys are just being extra because there's no way that you guys think there's really going to be a fight out here. And then I'm like, it's not needed. I'm just like, it's not needed. And play the game, man. Like, I like chippiness during the game. I don't like chippiness after the game. It's like the game's already over. You already lost. You're down. Like, either just shake his hand or do Juju. Don't try to get your clip.
Yeah, but Juju, I mean, guys talk. They talk crap all the time. There's so much that goes on.
Yeah.
And people are going to try to get under your skin.
Exactly.
So, and that's what Brian Branch, I mean, there's no excuse for Brian Branch. But he's like, listen, I was just trying to leave the field. Patrick Mahomes wanted to shake my hand. I said no. And then Juju Smith started cussing him out. So then he punches him. And then, of course, the melee happens. I hate to see it, as I was talking about. Nobody wins. But as we know in life, I mean, people are going to say things that really piss you off. You've got to find a way to not respond. Somehow, it's easier said than done. I've been guilty of this, trust me. Especially you can't respond with your hands. But these are gladiators. They're literally warriors on a field, punching, hitting each other for hours and getting paid to be the biggest, baddest, toughest guy. Game just ends. You're hot. You're pissed. You're emotionally invested. And then somebody eggs you on. You got to deal with it. You got to find a way around it. And he didn't. And now he just hurt his team again because he let his selfishness get in the way of him. He let his selfishness get in the way of his team. And that's why Dan Campbell, freaking coming down on you, you did something wrong and you got some making up to do. And that's where they got. But that brawl, I mean, it's not only is it bad for the team, it's just bad for the NFL, and it's bad for kids, for society. I'm sure it's interesting. Ratings are there. Your eyeballs go to it. Your eyeballs go to it as soon as you see it. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to sit right there and watch that, of course, when a fight happens. 6:47 is the time. Arch City now. Darker morning this morning throughout the St. Louis area. Sun's still not up. If it's difficult getting up this morning, I totally understand why. I get it. Better to stay in the covers, have some sleep, and go from there. From the chat line, Tony talking about the Penn State deal. James Franklin went from number 2 in college football to fired in about 6 weeks. College, no joke. No, it's not. And the expectations are high. But he was also, I think James Franklin was making about $9 million a year. You making $9 million a year? The expectations are higher. Same thing for these athletes. High school kids aren't recruited like they used to be. And it's not just football players. I talk to parents of kids in sports all over. NIL has affected all these high school kids. So soccer players, volleyball players, track athletes, whatever, you name it, softball players. Because now it's all about transfers and older kids. Well, guess what? Now more is expected of you, and so is the critique and the criticism. It's not just in high school. I mean, in the NFL, it's in college as well. So if you're not producing, you're gone. And trust me, I think Eli Drinkwitz has done a really good job of promoting Mizzou. But then I read somebody yesterday who's been around this market for a long, long time saying Eli Drinkwitz is only 23-21 against SEC teams since he's been at Mizzou. He should be fired. And he hasn't beaten a top 10 SEC team. He should be fired. So no matter where you are or what you're doing, there's always going to be somebody critiquing you. Always. I mean, imagine being some of these coaches elsewhere, Georgia, Alabama. Kalen DeBoer, the Alabama coach, after he lost to Florida State, nobody wanted him there, especially after he's following up Nick Saban. But have fun with that. Arch City Now. We're here till 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. We start at 6, we end at 8. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us afterwards. And then on Mondays, the MICSTL show, all about Missouri. We'll be talking more about the Missouri standpoint from that standpoint today. Grant Salzman crew. That's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. By the way, the weather, we were talking about the sun not coming up yet today, some spot showers possibly. Weather this week, highs right around 80 again, if not over. Another week of high 70s, 80s. Enjoy the weather. I know it's not quite fall yet, but the mornings aren't bad. And certainly when the sun sets, it gets nicer. And then also, when the sun sets, it's not setting late at night. That sun's setting a lot earlier now. So enjoy the weather if you want to. Get outside. Support your teams. You've got NFL. We've talked a lot of sports in the first hour. We're talking about the NFL. The Commanders and Bears play tonight. Major League Baseball playoffs still going on. If anybody's paying attention, I don't know. I mean, look at the teams. You've got Seattle, way upper northwest, Toronto in Canada, the Dodgers way out in LA. Oh yeah, and then the Brewers. I don't know. It just seems kind of ho-hum to me, and I don't know. I just, my gut, and maybe that's just me being upset and throwing a fit because the Cardinals aren't playing. But and we haven't been involved in serious pennant chase for a while, a serious pennant race. But does it seem like it's ho-hum to you? I don't know. It does to me. Jump in on Facebook, X, and YouTube on the show. You can chat with us. You can chat with others. Also, if you have a story, something from the weekend that you want to promote, you can do that. If you went to the Mizzou game and were part of that atmosphere over the weekend, let us know. Because that was just phenomenal. I said earlier, I talked to an Alabama fan who said he cannot believe how great it is to come to Columbia. He's like, and he'd been there like 10 years ago. He said, it's night and day difference. That's why I respect Eli Drinkwitz and what he's done. Because Mizzou is at least, I mean, we were toe-to-toe with Alabama, not even playing a good game. I'm sorry, this program, he may be only 23 and 21, and he may not have beaten a top 10 SEC team yet, but this program is very different. Very different. Now we got the rest of the season to find out what they can do with this very difficult schedule that they have. I'm all about Eli Drinkwitz. I'm all about the program. I'm all about the NIL. This team is way different. And for those people who want to bring out Indiana's coach, yeah, Cignetti's amazing. Should be coach of the year again. Literally, should be coach of the year at this point in time. But those guys aren't around all the time, okay? They're not. And by the way, big kudos go out to Indiana. Love what those guys have done. What they have done in 2 years is nothing short of phenomenal. I wasn't a huge Indiana fan last year, supporter, because they had an easy schedule. And then when they had a chance to show what they were, they didn't do it in the playoff. This year, there's no doubt. They manhandle anybody and everybody. They're big, strong, tough, fast, disciplined. And how could you not like their coach? How could you not like that guy? Yeah, anybody would take him. But I'll take Eli Drinkwitz right now. I'll take him in a heartbeat. And it wasn't his fault. Well, we'll see. Why Ahmad Hardy was only run 12 times in a game. I got it so difficult to bring down. But I digress. That game is over. It is what it is, and we move forward as best as we possibly can. We're all things St. Louis all the time. So you got some baseball tonight. 2 games. Mariners and Blue Jays played about 4 today. And then the Dodgers and Brewers play tonight. Brewers hosting that. Literally, could you imagine a World Series of like, and by the way, Seattle won that game 1. Like the Brewers in Seattle. Ugh. Or the Brewers and the Blue Jays. Ugh.
The Dodgers have to make it at least.
I don't know. Yeah, Blake Snell's pitching for the Dodgers. Brewers didn't have a pitcher listed yet, so who knows? They had to go 5 games to beat the Cubs. and they're maxed out. That pitching staff is maxed out. Dodgers rested and ready to get some work done there. Coming up in this next hour, a lot of news headlines that we haven't gotten to. We'll do that. We'll recap the Missouri situation from the weekend. Let us know any shout outs from the weekend, anything that you guys did, any events that you went to, anything coming up this week or this coming up weekend. You can let us know as well. Weather is going to be absolutely beautiful again this week throughout the St. Louis area. Not quite the cool, crisp feeling of fall, but the leaves are starting to change, and it's still really nice and really comfortable. And guess what? It's supposed to be really dry this week again. May have some spot showers today, maybe some in the area right now, but like I said, it could be a whole lot worse when it comes to everything that's happening throughout the area. If we missed something, let us know. You can give us a call. The phone number there, 855-282-8255. Once again, it's 855-282-8255. Here till 8 o'clock. That's when Hot Take Central 2.0 takes over. And by the way, a big win for the Blues over the weekend as well. Loved seeing that, beating Calgary. So that was a big win. Good for the Blues. They are, they just look good. And it was a good response. Just can't wait to get them back home. That's for sure, to see them ready to rock and roll with everything they've got there. So anyway, you guys can jump in on the show. Let us know what's happening, and we'll go from there. We'll come back with another hour of Arch City Now. Producer Rye alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We'll be back with more. We are your Lou Information Station, and we are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying 13th, St. Louis. Happy Columbus Day as well. Yes, it is a holiday. Hope you're enjoying it. Don't know if you're working or not, but it is a federal holiday. So there you go. That totally went past me. I was like, damn, I forgot about that. I felt bad. So anyway, it is 7:05. Glad you're with us. Arch City now. You guys can jump in with us till 8 o'clock. Jump in on X, YouTube, and Facebook, and talk with us. Arch City Now, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Give us your compliments, your comments, your suggestions, whatever from that standpoint. We appreciate you coming in, talking all things St. Louis all the time, and everything else that may be moving the needle for you on this kind of cloudy, dreary Monday morning. If you look at Monday mornings as a negative, the weather outside would match it. That's for sure. 7:06 is the time. It's supposed to have some maybe spot showers this day here and there, but the weather this week looks pretty darn good. A lot of sunshine, highs in the low 80s, upper 70s, but low 80s all throughout the week. Certainly doesn't feel like fall yet. In the mornings, maybe, and once the sun goes down, maybe. But all in all, not a bad day. Like I said, also a holiday, federal holiday here in the United States. If you're off, good for you. If not, enjoy your work day. We try to get you going, just talking some positive. Lots of sports today. It seems like Mondays we do hit sports because of things that have been happening over the weekend. NFL played, NFL game last night, Mizzou from the weekend, the Blues from Saturday. By the way, the Blues did bounce back on Saturday with a win. They beat Calgary, which was a good win for them on the road. Looked good. Looked more like the team we expected to see. And then now we talk about the Blues, and then they're ready to go. Blues will be in action again today. They play game 3 of their season, so that'll be pretty cool to see. They've got the Canucks. They play the Canucks. The Canucks are 1-1 on the season, just like the Blues. That game, 6:30 from Vancouver. A little bit, even though they're on the West Coast, it's a 6:30 game. I saw that Canada has Thanksgiving today. Their Thanksgiving. So if my Canadian friends want to jump in and update us on your Thanksgiving, that's fine too. So at least you don't have to stay up way late to watch the Blues play in the Western time zone of Canada. You can watch them at 6:30. That should be good to watch as well. By the way, Jake Neighbors with a couple goals the other day, so can't wait to watch Jake play. Had 2 goals in that game. Go Blues. Let's go Blues. Get back on track again. Come back home after that. We talked a little bit about it. We reset the stage. Missouri lost over the weekend to Alabama 27-24. Lots that can be talked about. Lots can be broken down from that game. Anyway, Missouri only fell to number 16 in the country. Not bad. Because it doesn't matter. Every week you're playing a ranked team when you play in the SEC, the toughest conference by far. May not have the elite team, like I'll call Ohio State. I don't know. Maybe Indiana. But, man, they've got a ton of really good teams. And everybody, you suffer the attrition. You battle each other all the way through. Special shout-outs to Indiana. Love watching them beat Oregon. Wow, what a team they've become. That is for sure. Ohio State's still number 1, then Miami. So Mizzou will have to get back on track against Auburn this week. They're underdogs, by the way. They started out, well, I think it's a 3-point underdog right now at Auburn, who's lost 3 straight games, but very tough teams. 10, 11, and 9. They've literally played 10, 11, and 9 ranked. Now they get number 16 Missouri coming to town. And they played 3 tough games, all tight games as well, including Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and I think that was Oklahoma with a healthy John Mateer, and then Georgia. Oh yeah, now they get to play. Mizzou. So Missouri from the weekend. If you went to the game, how was it? People that I talked to, I did not get to Columbia this weekend. My boys were there enjoying it. I was not. Said the atmosphere was absolutely electric. It was incredible. Even an Alabama friend of mine told me that. He's like, Missouri definitely not only belongs in the SEC, but in many ways, he's like they're as good as anybody else when it comes to the partying. The crowd was amazing. Fans showed up early. The atmosphere was second to none. I mean, that's what's happened in Missouri. Are we winning these top 10 games yet? No, not yet. Not yet. But this team, this brand of football is way different than what it was before. Way different. And you have the players that are coming in to help this because everybody thought there'd be some sort of a major drop off. And I love Brady Cook. Bo Prabula's not Brady Cook, and he's got a lot of season left to play. But at least Missouri's there. And they played a very tough game at home. Now, we'll see what's next because they got 3 tough games. I mean, they got 2 road games here, Auburn and Vandy, that look very, very, very tough. So we are Arch City now. We're here till about 8 o'clock today. Jump in on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Talk with us, talk with others if you'd like from that standpoint. Also, if you want to give us a call and talk about stories we may have missed, you can do that as well, or anything that you guys want to promote. We'll do that as well. What happened from the weekend? What's moving the needle for you? Anything to promote? We'll do that as well. If you guys want to give shout outs, you can do that from the high school side. We'll do that too. Any charities, any events coming up, let us know. We love to promote St. Louis, anything we can from that standpoint. We do it all. We've had a lot of sports on a Monday morning. It usually happens that way, but we talk everything. We talk entertainment. We talk events coming up. You name it, restaurants, food, bars, even get in, not tons of politics, but headlines, things from that standpoint we like to do and get in there from that standpoint. One thing that I thought was interesting too, that I saw this come out from the weekend. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, and if you want to support St. Louis, go check out the movie Soul on Fire, the John O'Leary story. I've talked about it a lot. I had a chance to watch a preview movie. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, I teared up like 5 times in the movie. The real life story of John O'Leary, burned as a 9-year-old, 100% of his body, wasn't even supposed to live, to make it. He did. Jack Buck continued to show up to encourage this kid and his family and promote the heck out of this team. And that's exactly what happened. Now, John not only lived, but went on to become one of the best inspirational speakers around. He travels the globe. Now he's out promoting this movie. Just love everything about it. The entire movie is set in St. Louis, of course, where John grew up, and going to SLU. And it's just everything's about the St. Louis story, overcoming, and who St. Louis is. And a lot of people getting out promoting the movie in regards to seeing it. I talked to somebody else who went on Saturday night and saw it, absolutely loved it. Literally an independent film that started to do so well that you had Sony Pictures come in and pick it up. William H. Macy with the tough role of playing Jack Buck. So congrats to that. That's doing very well. We'd love to promote that. And if you've had a chance to see it, you can chime in, let us know your thoughts on what you saw with the movie and so forth. Also, if you had any sort of thoughts on that movie, you can let us know. We're grateful that you guys want to be a part and jump in on the show. And of course, if there's something that you want to talk about, you can do that with us this morning. 7:14 is the time. Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rye alongside today as well. The phone number is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We'll talk more about the Monday night football game from last night, the brawl at the end of the game, where that stands, why things like that can happen, what happens next, and the kind of look that it gives the NFL because of what happened from that standpoint. Anyway, there is a story that's going on in the St. Louis area that's drawn a lot of attention. The data center. St. Charles residents voted it down. They did not want any part of the data center coming to St. Charles. A lot of times there can be issues. They say where data centers come in, it affects the electricity. It can pollute the water. But are data centers needed? Yeah, they can be. They can be. It just, there's people who think there was a resident that really spoke out. Actually, a lot of residents who spoke out yesterday. So you had various groups and various residents from different neighborhoods gathering yesterday to discuss options of a proposed $1.5 billion data center that would move into the Armory in Midtown. Can it make a lot of money? Yeah, it could. Is it safe? Well, developers say yes. A lot of times neighbors and residents say it hasn't been safe when you look around. Quote, the longer that we get to research data centers that are built for AI, the worse the information gets, because this is all about technology. One resident said it's going to get a lot of people in a really bad way. I personally think that it's going to end up, quote, killing people in the summertime when they can't afford to pull the plug in the air conditioners. Utilities are just one of the sore points from the public discussion, environmental and economic factors. That was what was talked about yesterday, as the data centers, first of all, tried to go to St. Charles. St. Charles residents voted it down, didn't want any part of it. So then it popped up in the city, trying to go to the city to do the situation to see what they could do. So now people in the St. Louis area are trying to learn more about data centers. A lot of people learning about them. They're all over the place. Allegedly, we need them. I'm trying to cover both sides of that story. But I just remember back to August, St. Charles City Council unanimously voted to approve a one-year moratorium on the data center project to come back and talk about it. So the moratorium means that St. Charles will not accept any new applications for building or expanding data centers for at least a year, and then they'll come back and address it because they're trying to figure out the research. They want to make sure what's happening. So now the developers are going to hold their own town hall. That's going to be held tonight at 5:30, and that's open to the public. That's going to be held at the Sheet Metal Workers Union Hall tonight at 5:30. So if people in the St. Louis area want to get out, they can go ask questions to the developers who, quote, take the stand to say why data centers will help everybody and why they aren't a situation that's going to be unsafe for people as well. This is Arch City Now, getting into some of the news headlines and the stories from this morning. If you've driven over in St. Charles County, the stretch between 6440, Highway 4064, and Highway Z has been called the fastest growing part of the St. Louis Metro's area and the fastest growing county. So that's where it is. It's 64 and Highway Z. And now they're talking about another proposed development that could add some more traffic concerns. So people are getting a little concerned out there. And it is a packed area. I mean, you talk about where St. Louis is growing, if at all, it's over there. It's over there in St. Charles County, Highway 40 and Highway Z. But MoDOT says that they're trying to change things. They're trying to keep up with everything because, you know, if you're dealing out there, you can deal with some traffic. They're trying to lessen the impact over there. And then I saw there was a 464 unit development for Wentzville. So I was like, it's a subdivision proposed right near Wentzville. So 474 more homes. I'm like, good Lord, lots of congestion could be coming from that standpoint. Hey, a shout out for Mr. Brad Lamb as well this morning. He was on the Halloween special edition of Netflix series Is It Cake, where literally people are deciding, judges are deciding if a cake is a cake or if it's fake. That's how talented these bakers are, that judges literally have difficulty telling by looking at any everyday items, from red Solo cups to toys to toasters, you name it. These artists, and they are artists, food artists, make cakes look so real, so lifelike that you can't tell if they're real or fake, sitting next to other actual tangible items, not cakes. So Brad Lamb was on the October 8th edition. He did interviews with local TV and said that if you look up the show, you can expect to be really impressed. He says he was on stage with most of the cakes, and you really couldn't tell what was real and what was cake. I mean, that's phenomenal to think that bakers, artists can be that good that freaking good that you can't tell if it's real or fake. So congrats to Brad Lamb. From that standpoint on what he was able to do on that show. A lot of people from St. Louis get opportunities to go out and make a name for themselves. It seems like I'm always seeing somebody who's out there getting something done. By the way, the streets of the Hill, they celebrated there's Italian roots with the Italian Heritage Parade yesterday. It was a big deal. This right before Columbus Day today. Happy Columbus Day. It is a federal national holiday. This year was the 158th annual parade. 158 years of the Italian Heritage Parade held yesterday. The festival followed at Barra Park. So, beautiful day to do that. Beautiful week. We were talking about the weather and everything that was coming up this weekend too as well. I don't know if you guys saw this too, but everybody's always trying to do something new. Domino's, check out Domino's new. I mean, does a new logo make me want pizza?
You know what's crazy? I had Domino's this weekend.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
But you didn't see a new. It wasn't
the new logo yet, but yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess they've got a new jingle apparently to reach the next generation of pizza lovers. But so the boxes actually look like, I don't know, Domino's. You get 1 and 2s from the domino heads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it does anything for me. The packages can only be one color. They can have up to 2 logos or 2 different colors. Or excuse me, that was, the Domino's deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I got it pulled up for you right now. I'm looking at it. It's cool, but I don't know.
They call it a facelift. I mean, I don't care. I mean, They said they updated their trademark to include Domino's because their ad reads the hot new vibe designed to make you say so they added M's in the middle of Domino's, so it's DOMMMINOS, Domino's. Okay, it's all right, to each their own. They can do that. Hey, another serious story too, with Halloween around and candy being around and being careful. Some experts are warning parents and concerned. I thought this was an interesting story that was done with a dispensary manager in the area, letting people know. I think it was, Channel 5 did it with Dominic Bradshaw, the sales manager over at Luxury Lux Dispensary. He said something that's been a concern is making sure that cannabis that's produced in edibles, that it doesn't get mistaken, because it can be in candies, that it doesn't get mistaken with other candies this Halloween. Okay. So what they said is what they want you to look out for is a resaleable package. Candy wrappers don't have resaleable packages. Cannabis does. Because allegedly there can be some mix-up with edibles given out or edibles confused with other candy. So you'll know that a cannabis package, the packages can only be one color. They can have up to 2 logos or different colors. The word marijuana must be permanently printed on the outside. So there's really... it says marijuana on the package. But even Bradshaw says with the regulations out there, parents still have to be smart and on the lookout. So they said even like adults with marijuana at home should secure it so children don't confuse it for Halloween candy. You think? Yeah, I hope so. I hope parents just don't have marijuana edibles just sitting out on the table. Bradshaw says, quote, "It's very important for parents to keep your goodies, put them away, locked up so the kids don't find them." Marijuana, of course, legal now in many states, including Missouri and Illinois. So they say that when it's legal, more kids can be exposed to it. When you're a time where there might be more candy being eaten, something could happen. And you just want to be as careful as possible. I guess they're trying to take proactive approaches, doing these stories and getting the word out that these are some of the things that can happen. Okay. I get it. I get it. But maybe kids would know the difference, but clearly parents would. Parents would clearly know the difference of things that are going on. I brought this up earlier. Maybe I'll try. Do I try to get this in right now? Yeah, maybe I'll come back and do that. Do another story there. Producer Ryan alongside. I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. Glad you guys are with us this morning. Jump in on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Once again, that's X, YouTube, and Facebook. Promote anything that you want to from a St. Louis standpoint. We're here to do that with you. Glad you guys are with us. Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. We are here talking St. Louis, getting you up and going on your early mornings. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us from 8 to 10 o'clock. The former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. And on Mondays, you've got the MIZ STL show. All about Mizzou. Grant Salzman. I'm Vic Faust. I'll be jumping in with him today from that standpoint as well. As we talk all things Mizzou, lots to get into Mizzou. We'll talk about in our next break a little bit more of the Mizzou weekend, what happened, the aftermath, what they have forward, look forward coming up. Also, if you ever want to give us a call, you can do that and talk about some of the stories. 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. When we come back, we'll talk from Missouri standpoint. We'll talk about the big brawl last night from the Chiefs game. What kind of messages does it send? What should happen for the instigators and or people that participated from that standpoint? Blues preview. They're in action on later today, 6:30 p.m. out on the West Coast on a Columbus Day, getting an early start. So thankfully, we don't have to stay up way late to watch the Blues play. Also, we got baseball going on, some other news stories, you name it, anything that you guys want to talk about, promote, we'll do that as well on the show. We are your Lou Information Station. We're always live and on demand at louinfo.com, and you can check out louinfo.com for a list of all the programming, the shows, the content that we have here all throughout the week when it comes to our show at louinfo.com. Also, you can jump in on Facebook, X, and YouTube, talk with us, make comments, and talk with others from that standpoint as well when we get these stories that are happening. It's going to be a really nice day from a weather standpoint all throughout the St. Louis area, not only today, but through the entire week. So we appreciate you guys jumping in with us. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll finish out the show for the next 25 minutes after that. Producer Rise alongside. I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. We'll be back right after this. Faust. Glad you're with us for Arch City Now here till just before 8 o'clock this morning. And then it's Hot Take Central 2.0 with Jim the Cat Hayes, Cardinals broadcaster, and Kim Jansen, St. Louis Blue, or the former Blue, himself with their show. Take you till 10 o'clock. The MIZ STL show kicks off at 10 o'clock today. Grant Salzman and myself will be recapping everything from Missouri from the weekend, where they are now, the rankings, that sort of situation, and what's next after losing a tight, hard-fought game on Saturday in Columbia. If you want to jump in, you can do it on X and YouTube and Facebook. Let us know. Get your comments in. We'll try to get to those as well. Rye running social media. I take a look at it every now and then as well. So if we don't get to your comments, if you come in there quickly at first, just be patient. We'll get to them as we check them out, as we do the show, we host, we look at all those things. But we are glad when you guys jump in, when you like, when you subscribe, when you share the show, all of that. That's a big thing. So thank you for being a part of the show and helping us grow as we're doing. We wouldn't do this if you guys weren't showing up on the radio side and the social media podcasting side as well. So we're grateful for you guys on that air as well. Okay. Tonight, you've got NFL action coming back again. So a lot of people are looking forward to that. When it comes to what's happening, you literally have two games tonight in the NFL. The Bills at the Falcons and the Bears at the Commanders. The doubleheader of NFL football once again. See, here's the thing. They got two games on a Monday night. If you're going to do it, why isn't it it's at the same time? Why do that? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Literally, the Bills at the Falcons at 6:15 and the Bears at the Commanders. Now, I'm assuming they're doing it in the times because it is Columbus Day. It's a holiday. But why wouldn't you space it out more or start another game earlier since it's a holiday? Well, maybe because it's not prime time, Vic. I don't know. I get it, but I don't get it. Also, from that standpoint, we got the Blues tonight. So you got the NFL, but we got our Blues at 6:30 tonight in Vancouver. And that's a 6:30 game because, once again, it's Columbus, and it says it's Thanksgiving in Canada today as well. So if you're a sports fan, lots to watch from that standpoint. Oh, and there's baseball that's going on as well. If you're into that, the American League game kicks off first, Mariners and Blue Jays. By the way, the Mariners won the first game. And then the second game tonight's the National League game, the Dodgers at the Brewers. So tons of sports on a Columbus Day for people to get involved with and watch from that standpoint. Okay. We were talking about the NFL. We're going to show you the video again. Let me set it up. If producer Rye has time to show you that Chiefs stuff from last night. So the Chiefs won last night 30-17. They win going away. They looked really good. Lions really, really beat up. Injured again. Same story as last year. 5 of their top 6 defensive backs didn't even play in the game last night. Not the same Lions team. So then after the game, I'll set it up. You have Brian Branch, who is a very emotional guy after the game, walking, I guess, by or past Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes put his hand out to shake his hand. He doesn't do it. Didn't want any part of it. Well, that upset Juju Smith-Schuster, who allegedly said something nasty to Branch. Well, then Branch popped him in his head. Can't put your hands on anybody, even if they're trying to stoke you, even if they're trying to instigate you. You can't do it. Well, that set off a firestorm right there on TV for everybody to see. All across America, grown men going after each other. Unneeded, unnecessary, childish, immature, horrible look for the NFL. Horrible look. About ego, about manhood, about all these silly, stupid things. I don't know. The old FAFO situation, I guess. It's just sad to think that these things are going on. No need. No freaking need for this stuff. Brian Branch, after the game was called out by his head coach, Dan Campbell, says, I love Brian Branch, but this was inexcusable. He's going to be suspended. He'll pay a big fine. If somebody says something to you that you don't like, you can't respond. And guys, I'm a Lions fan. I love Brian Branch. I love the Lions. I love the heart. I love the emotion that they play with. I love Dan Campbell. But you can't do that. I don't know the details. Patrick Mahomes tries to shake her hand. That's fine. It looked like it was fine. Brian Branch is walking by. Doesn't want to. So it's fine. But then I guess Juju and according to Branch, Juju Smith-Schuster is the guy that decided to open his mouth and say something to him because he didn't want to shake the God's hand. And then, he said something nasty to Branch for Branch to pop him in his head. Juju Smith-Schuster left the field bloodied and bruised, and then the melee happened, and just a horrible look for the NFL. Brian Branch is going to pay a price. The Lions will pay a price because Brian Branch lost his temper. It's easy to lose your temper. We've all been there. Somehow, some way, he's got to find it. Now, he's on a football field right after a game. I don't know what was said to him by Juju Smith-Schuster, but it doesn't matter what he said. Somehow, some way, it's got to be taken care of in a different way. Somehow, some way. You can't do it like that. And so now, just a terrible look for everybody involved from that standpoint. So where does it go from here? Not quite sure. I just know it's not what the NFL wants. And certainly not a good look for the NFL, the Lions, and or the Chiefs. All about ego, manhood, and you said something to me that's bad, and blah, blah, blah. And, just so freaking unfortunate that happened. So you got two more, and you're going to hear about it all day today, too. I said happy Columbus Day, federal holiday. There are some people that are off. A lot of sporting events on earlier. Be a lot of sports coverage of what happened. When these fights happen, it just, you don't want to see it in professional, in college, in high school, any of it. No need for it. But we do know these things can occur from time to time. No fights on Saturday when it came to, by the way, the Lions next week, they will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 5-1. They're 5-1. Is Tampa real? Are they for real? Well, I can tell you this much. Baker Mayfield, who now, if the season ended today, would have a good shot at winning the MVP. Legitimately, he would. We'll be going against the Lions secondary that shouldn't have one starter. Maybe one will come back. Maybe one. And the Buccaneers are considered to be one of the top power teams in the league. And who would have ever thought Tampa would be there in Baker Mayfield? So congrats to them. Mizzou lost over the weekend. Just recapping that really quick for you, 27-24. We'll talk more about that on the MIZ-STL show this weekend. They lose. Okay, they dropped to 16 in the polls. Could they have played better? Yeah, of course they could have played better. Did officiating hurt them? Yeah, officiating hurt them. Marvin Burks was thrown out of the game, and he shouldn't have. All the replays showed he did not target. He did not hit with the crown of his head. He hit with his shoulder, and he was thrown out of the game. It kept a drive going for Alabama. Not one holding call called on Alabama the entire game for the first time this season. Mizzou got SEC'd, but Mizzou also hurt themselves and still had a chance to win the game late before some mistakes hit them. Now, that was the tough game, but they got to play it at home. Now let's see their first road game. They're at Auburn this weekend, and then they're at Vandy. It's going to be two really tough games. Oh, yeah, before you come home and get to take on Texas A&M, who's now ranked, in the top 4 now in the country. So it's going to be very, 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 very tough test for Mizzou over the next 3 weeks to see what they can do. But my Alabama friend who was in town said what fans have done in Columbia is absolutely amazing. The energy, the atmosphere of college football game day, Saturdays. So congrats to the fans who all showed. And that was an 11 a.m. start time, and it was rocking. People were ready. The fans were ready. And that's exactly what Missouri likes to see. Sellouts, even at 11 a.m. in the morning for Alabama. So congrats to Mizzou. Yeah, they got to get some wins against top 10 teams in the SEC. It hasn't happened. It's got to happen. So it's a catch-22. No, they're not winning against the best teams, but they're still a different program. They're talked about. They're ranked. They've got terrific recruiting classes coming in this day of NIL. And, you know, is Missouri Indiana right now? No, Indiana's got those big wins, but I like the trajectory. I do. But now we're going to find out what happens in the next coming days. But I've always been a huge Brady Cook fan as well. And I said at some point this season, I think we would miss Brady Cook. And I think we missed Brady Cook on Saturday. That's my humble opinion. But we'll go from there. Because Brady Cook elevated the play of others around him, in my humble opinion. Love to see him get on the field for the Jets. That's for sure. Yeah, the Jets can't do anything at all winning wise. So we'll talk Mizzou later today on the MIZ STL show as well for you. How about
question, Vic?
Yeah, go ahead.
About that. Does the
please jump in.
Does the MIZ STL show, does it have a Instagram or Twitter? I was trying to add it for the social media post.
We need to do that.
All right, I'll talk to Grant.
Can't talk to Grant Salzman.
Got you. But I was about to post like.
Oh yeah.
Later, so.
We should. I appreciate you. You rock, my man, right? Yeah, we need to do that. If we're not, that's for sure. That'll be a good show today to talk about. There he walks into the studio. Love it, love it, love it. 7:45 is the time. This is Arch City Now. Phone number is 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255. I'm Vic Faust, producer Ryan alongside as well. We are here in studio for about another 15 minutes. Jump in on the show if you want to. If you guys have a story, an event, a person, anything that you want to promote, you're welcome. We'll do that for you. Like we said, lots going on from a sports standpoint as well. It is Columbus Day. Happy Columbus Day, federal holiday. That's why the Blues are playing earlier against Vancouver today at 6:30 in Vancouver. So lots of sports on tonight that you can watch from that standpoint. Okay. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't had a chance to see the new Soul on Fire movie, the inspirational story about the life of John O'Leary, check it out. It's in theaters. I know several people that went and saw it this weekend. I had a chance to see it at a preview showing. Incredible, incredible movie. Very inspirational story about John, who as a 9-year-old suffered burns on 100% of his body. Wasn't even supposed to make it, and he did. Jack Buck was an inspiration in his life, spent a ton of time with John and his family, just showing the heart and who the man Jack Buck was away from baseball. And, of course, his phenomenal broadcasting ability had nothing to do with the Hall of Fame legend broadcaster's talent, but it had everything to do with his heart. So it's all about St. Louis, set in St. Louis. If you haven't had a chance to see it, go check it out. It's really, really cool. The movie started basic as an independent film, and then Sony Pictures comes in and picks it up as well. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think you'll be happy you did. Just a sad story, but a feel-good story at the same point in time. How about this? I talked about this earlier. Ferguson Brewing is closing. Now, we talk about company, bars and restaurants come and go. It's part of life. It's part of business, part of capitalism. But it's another craft brewing place. It just seems like we've had craft brewing companies shutting down more and more. And craft beer sales have gone down. Now, just put it this way, all alcohol sales have gone down. Then beer sales have gone down more than spirits. Just less people were drinking alcohol. I think it goes back to, you had more people doing marijuana. I mean, I think it's a legitimate thing, a 100% legitimate thing that is happening. Then you add into the mix Gen Zers. I work with a Gen Zer right next to me, and I like to get his opinion on these stories when they happen, because I'm like, is this really true? Are Gen Zers, and not that you're supposed to have lots of money or be able to do things, but if you go out, are Gen Zers tipping? Because now more and more of these reports are going out that Gen Zers are changing bar culture, and bartenders aren't happy about it. So you'll still go out, but allegedly Gen Zers don't tip at all.
Yeah, personally, I tip at a restaurant way more than I tip at a bar. Even though I still tip, it's just like, if I'm at my college bar, I don't really tip. but if I'm going out somewhere, I'll tip something most of the time. Like I feel like it kind of feels like it's off the bartender's demeanor.
Well, here's what they allegedly Gen Zers more choose the zero proof drinks for starters. Shorter nights. They're not hanging out all night. They're more cognizant of their money, more responsible, more control over music and payments. And that shift is cutting down money and tabs and tips for bartenders
want more money
who are relying on those busy, late, party-filled nights so that they can get cash. Have you noticed this with you and your people, your friends, your group?
I don't really notice. I think a lot of my friends, I don't know if they tip. Now that I think about it, I don't think they really do.
But if you go somewhere, and I worked in the service industry for a long time.
It's like,
please, I beg you right now, if you're a Gen Zer and you go to a bar or restaurant, if you get good service, please tip 20%. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. 20%.
Because if the drink is like $10, that's only
crazy.
$2.
Yes.
Not like that's what I do, like $2. That's cool. I can do that.
If you're going to do that.
Yeah. If it's $15 drink, I can do like $3. You know,
most bartenders are saying it just happens, and so they're starting to freak out when they see Gen Zers. But I get it. Gen Zers aren't going to have as much money as Gen Xers usually, as a whole, maybe not. But concepts, realities have changed. Just a different type of thinking, and then again, does the marijuana aspect play into it? And I think it does. I do. I really do. And I know there are a lot of people that feel that is the case as well, where more people are maybe partaking in cannabis than alcohol. And, that'll take some of those sales away as well. Those things can happen. So anyway, if you guys have thoughts on that, you can jump in from that standpoint. We appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in on the show. We are Arch City now. 7:51 is the time on a Monday morning, October 13th. It is a holiday when it comes to Columbus Day. Don't know if you guys have anything that you're doing today. Any plans set forth? Let us know. I know there are events that are going on throughout the area. And of course, we'd love to promote them if we can from that standpoint too. If you guys had anything that happened over the weekend that you wanted to promote, we'll let you do that as well. We'd like to talk about that. We were talking about some of those news headlines in the first part of the show as well. You've also got baseball this afternoon. We talked about that, the two games that are going on. And then Belleville had their chili cook-off over the weekend. Millstadt's got barbecue fest going on. That's why we're like, okay, there's so much going on. We don't want to miss it. And of course, we love it when you guys jump in on the show and let us know so that we don't miss anything. And you can do it on X and YouTube and Facebook. Those are the opportunities for you to go ahead and do that. Somebody said, by the way, you said about polling. Mizzou's number 16 in the poll, by the way, when it comes to college football. Number 1 is Ohio State, 2 is Miami, 3 Indiana. And that's exactly where Indiana should be. Can't wait to watch them the rest of the season. They may run the table. I don't see anybody on their schedule. I don't know if anybody's going to beat Indiana before they go to the playoffs. Indiana.
Yeah, he's changed the whole culture of it.
They've got culture, but you got to have players.
Yeah, he yeah.
And you got to be able to coach right. That guy and his staff have done a phenomenal job.
True.
Texas A&M 4, who Missouri plays in 3 weeks. Ole Miss 5. Alabama beats Mizzou and moves up 2 spots to number 6. Texas Tech 7, Oregon 8, Georgia 9, LSU 10, Tennessee 11. As you can see, there's still, 6 teams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 SEC teams in the top 11.
Yeah, where did Texas A&M go again?
Good luck. Texas A&M is 4. Yeah, they're up to number 4.
Ooh, where did Oklahoma drop to?
Oklahoma dropped to 14, 2 spots above Missouri.
Okay,
so Oklahoma's 14.
Spot from
and then Mizzou's 16, Vanderbilt 17. So,
and then does Texas drop? I mean, did
They've been in the poll and they are not. Texas jumped up to 21.
That's what I was saying.
I disagreed with that because they beat an Oklahoma team with a John Mateer who still does not have his correct hand. But pollsters, and this is why the AP poll is such a joke.
It is.
And many people who vote in the AP poll need to learn college football. They don't get it. They don't know it. Why they have votes, I have no idea. I'd love to sit down and educate them on how things should be done because they're not putting the time in that they should. They're not. I'm sorry, they're not. You want to come in the show, we'll talk, we'll debate, but the AP poll makes no sense. And then it's used as a catalyst when it comes to putting people in the playoff, which is a sad state of affairs. But Texas has no business being in the poll.
Because doesn't it not matter because it's all about the college football ranking anyway, like for the committee, right?
Well, the committee, but they use the AP poll. They use those polls.
And it's like...
They do.
Because who was it? I remember somebody on the poll put Florida higher in the beginning of the year for no reason at all. Like
sometimes that
them up.
Yeah, sometimes it has to do with how they finished the last season and who they have coming up, or who's coming into the season, or who's coming back from a player standpoint. It frustrates me, but it is what it is. Those things can happen. That's how it is. That's polling in the year 2025. Yippee-ki-yay! So we do our best with handling it. Anyway, we're grateful that people are here with us today. Todd says Lions next Monday night. We go head to head, Tampa and Detroit. Once again, another nationally televised game for the Lions and the Buccaneers at the Lions, but the Lions won't have their top. I don't know. They won't have Branch. I promise you that much.
He won't be playing.
It better be a shootout because Detroit has no secondary. That's for sure.
I hope the Buccaneers wear those uniforms that they've been wearing recently.
Oh, the old schools?
Yeah.
You like those?
Those are nice.
You know what? The Gen Zers like those.
Those are nice.
They do. My boys like them. I'm with you, buddy. I totally get it. Yeah. Hey, this show has flown by this morning on this Monday. We appreciate you guys being here. So glad you're with us. Enjoy the day of if it's a holiday for you. Not a ton in the news world going on throughout the St. Louis area. Lots of sports are going on. We'll set the stage for you. That's for sure coming up tomorrow morning on everything that's happening throughout the St. Louis area. We just appreciate you guys being with us as you always are, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. for Arch City Now. Also, Hot Take Central 2.0 is coming up next with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. They'll be previewing that Blues game tonight as well. And then at 10 o'clock today, it's the MIZSTL show. Grant Salzman, myself, breaking down what happened with Alabama, what's going on with the SEC, what's ahead for Mizzou next week at Auburn, and also with the weeks that are ahead, everything from that standpoint. Thanks again, guys, for jumping in. For producer Ryan, I'm Vic Faust. This is Arch City Now. We will catch back up with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Stay positive and have a great day.